Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me. So, for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Lay, and I am the owner of Glam Alchemy and the Temple of the Holy Mother, where I am a spiritual oil and I help primarily women, but I help people advocate for themselves and reach their destinies. Okay, so I'll talk about briefly, hopefully this is brief, about this phenomenon of the good girl. And if you're a woman, you already know the programming that is fed to us. But one of the things I think, or the things that are fed to us about being good and about doing certain things for basically societal approval, when you opt to not do these things, the quote unquote punishment that you receive, really the mistreatment you receive from other people, that is something you have to learn to digest and to deal with, because people are it is very infuriating for people to see free women, and it infuriates people even more when you are black. Okay, like it's like the nerve of you, the audacity of you to not stay in place, right? As a black person, as a woman, it's like, you are not even supposed to be allowed to do what we're doing. You're not even supposed to be allowed to, you know, live. Honestly, right? And so that is something that is very frustrating for people when black women are not um obedient to what society wants black women to be, which is basically a mule, basically a person in servitude, basically people like for you to stay in those positions. And you know, I have always been told that it's important to serve, it's important to give, it's important. It's something that I feel like is really very heavily to women, and of course black women even more, that you're supposed to give and you're supposed to serve. And people who are making, people who are having successful lives, I don't see them serving people. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't see them serving people. I rarely see them serving people. There are a few, but typically no. And I don't mean servitude by making charity donations. However, when it's touted to black women, it's usually meant in the form of physical labor. Always, your servitude has to be some type of physical labor. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, yes, being nice. So this is what I wanted to talk about. People, because people feel entitled to black women's time and to black women's energy. I don't know if y'all saw this video that was circulating. It was like this Indian guy, and he had stated, it went viral on TikTok. Basically, this guy had said that his mother told him that if he was ever in a situation or in a space where he felt unsafe, that he should look for the nearest black for help. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But if you know, and I was just telling somebody about this, if you know of the divine oracles, who were black women that were basically what the Vatican is now for the world, there were black women were basically in that position, and they held offices that were presidential in nature, and also were on the level of the Pope, right? So people trusted these divine oracles. They were advisors to kings, all of that type of stuff. Like, we basically, black women were like the heads of state, prime ministeresses. I don't know if there's a word for that. Um, that was the role that we had. So essentially, the role that white men have in society now, black women were in that position before. So, okay, so let me back up. So I actually found out this information. I read a book. Not done with it. The priest, the bulls, the first priestesses of Mami Wata, and it's by Mama Zogbe. I will put the information in the description when I get done with this video and it up jazz. But it's by Mama Zogbe. Zogbe Zogbe. Mama Zogbe. And so she wrote this book, and it's a history book. So there's nothing really to refute or argue about. But she wrote this history about how there's so many there's scrolls that were found that were used in the Bible that came from the Sibyls. Like, and they changed the wording of these books in the Bible to make God male. But prior to this, God was always female. It was always the mother goddess. And it's really deep, really, because there's so many layers of knowledge and of the intellect and power of the black woman that has been there's a lady who did an interview with Mama Zogbe. It's on YouTube. And in the interviews, there's a part where she goes, like, a black woman, she's like, I feel so cheated. Like, I feel so cheated because, like, no one ever teaches black women any of this shit. You just kind of hear about slavery and it. You hear about Harriet Tubman. That's like the extent of like our history. And so we are not even taught that we, have, like, again, I'm sure it's very empowering for a white man to hear about George Washington and then to hear about, you know, um, Einstein, and then to see Jeff Bezos. These things are empowering because it's a form of representation. So I plan on teaching my daughters before they're even, you know, ready for elementary school about the Sibyls, about the place that women hold in society. And I'm going to do this because I do not want my daughters to be pushovers. My oldest daughter, she was kind of on the line, her birthday between Pisces and Aries, and I kept saying I wanted her to be Aries. I wanted her to be assertive, right? I actually ended up getting both. I have Aries and a Pisces, but that was important to me because I know how challenging to be a quote unquote nice girl, right? And if you don't know my background, if you haven't been following me, like, I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church, and I was a good girl. I did everything I could to follow the rules, to stay out of trouble, to be basically what society considers good. Like, I did everything right. To try to, to the best I did everything to the best of my ability, try to be like a good person, to fit these ideals young women are expected to fit. And I was it was confusing for me and very challenging for me to comprehend why I still received the short end of it when it came to certain things. So I would follow all of the rules. If I one very small thing in my family, there were very punishments for doing a small thing. And then I remember I talked about this briefly in my last video, getting accepted into college and being treated, even though it was a prestigious college, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I could have gotten into, the next college over, up the street from where my parents lived, but I didn't, right? Because I tend to march to the beat of my own drum, and so there were insults and people trying to tell me not to do that particular thing. You shouldn't go to school there. You shouldn't move to that state. Like, it was just like this concentrated effort of, okay, I shouldn't do that. Even though most people, if their children tell them, hey, I got into so and so university, and their parents would, typically be happy for them. But, and this is very common. What I have noticed with other Black women, it's like there's this standard of perfection that you can't reach, right? Unless you come from a family that's very healthy and, people are supportive of you. If you have that, amazing. But from what I've noticed with Black women, it's like it's never enough. I've seen Black women do things like get master's degrees, become funeral directors, buy homes, and people around them are still looking like, girl, okay, I guess that, like nobody can really be happy for them. It's really unfortunate. And it's very challenging for these women because you're like, I did everything right. You know, I'm 30. I don't have any kids. I've been married. I'm buying a house. I have a medical degree. Why are people, why do people try? Am I not being treated like, Queen of Sheba? Like, why are people not rolling out the red for me? Like, I'm a good person. I've done nice. Like, why do I have to deal with the bullshit? Like, why do I have to get treated like shit? One of the main reasons why Black women get treated like shit is because they will not, and I'm gonna just keep it real, they will not date outside of their. That's one of the reasons why they're getting treated like that, because Black men are extremely misogynistic. And it's not by nature, it's by conditioning. Um, they can be very, very misogynistic if they're properly reared. And a lot of Black women that I know, they will not date outside of their race. So they're dealing with a lot of emotional, psychological abuse. Even, there's been a lot of talk about, men trapping women, how, men do that a lot to women to, oh my God. So, there's been a lot of that about men, and we're talking about Halle Bailey and all these other things. Yeah, they kind of put you in a masculine, independent state. I remember when I got older and I kind of realized, like, because, as I became an adult and started to grow, people, would ask me, where's your husband? Where's your man? And why this and why that? And it's like, as I got older and I started to understand feminine and masculine energy, I'm like, we aren't raised to be feminine. You're raised to be masculine. I have a video, oh my God, it's probably like 10 years old. It's on here and it talks about uh, sexism and parenting. About, Black men they're coddled. They are not, most Black men are not given to survive. They are coddled because um, they can anticipate some woman to take care of them. And the Black women are put in the masculine role. And they do everything and they get all the degrees and they keep, there's been this rate or this talk of, oh, Black women are starting the highest educated demographic. They are opening the most businesses at such an alarming rate. Like, yeah, when people have their foot on your neck and told you can't do shit, and told you that, you finishing high school is not good enough and you need to do this, this, and this, because that is what's going to that's what's going to set you apart. That's what you need to do, because, women weren't even allowed to go to school, 100 and something years ago. So it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure, and it makes you either fold or succeed. Yeah, and the sheltering is another thing. The sheltering is another thing. To me, it's very crippling, because I had a similar experience. It's very crippling socially. You don't really know what to expect with certain things, but it depends on what level of how sheltered you were. That's crazy. My mother never asked me that because she was so serious about me not having one. She was very serious about not allowing me, maybe not say not allowing me, keeping me from having that experience. And I'm sure she was trying to protect me, but that's not healthy. I tell people that all the time. All the girls I know whose parents was like, you ain't going on no damn dates, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that, like, they're all turned the fuck up as soon as they were able to get out of their parents' house. Um, Because I know some people who had very, very, very strict religious parents and they would do anything for real. Like, you could go to school. Like, if school wasn't mandatory, I think some of these people would even been going to school because their parents were that strict. And they wanted them at home where they could watch them all the time. So there's a discipline that Black women have because of how we're reared that unfortunately a lot of Black men do not have because they are not reared the same. Yeah, I had that talk too. It was actually my stepdad that talked with me about how he wanted to make sure that um, I did not like girls. Which I thought was like, why are you talking to me about this? But that was really important to him, was to make sure I don't like girls. And I'm sitting up here like, you don't want me to like girls. You don't want me to get pregnant. You don't want me to go on dates. You don't want me to go to the mall. You don't want me to do this. Like, not healthy. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not healthy for somebody to be 15, 16 years old and in high school and supposed to be, um, socializing and growing, and you're basically being told you can't do shit. That's where a lot of girls get in trouble when they go to college. They go off to college, especially if it's far away from home, because they haven't had an opportunity to date. So these are the girls that like the first semester at school they're pregnant because they don't even know how to set boundaries into, like, you know what I'm saying? They don't even know how to, like, they don't have no game. They don't have none of that stuff. They're very green and they're a predator. They're a predator stream because they don't know, they're socially inept. That's so wild to me. I'll be doing that to my children. It was like definitely traumatic for me dealing with the restrictions of stuff. And again, I know I get it, wanting to be protect kids, with the history in this country for, people, for people who did immigrate here. I get it. I fucking get it. But, we have evolved. So the good girl thing. So I wanted to bring up something. I actually didn't even mean to be on here this long. So, I have a neighbor, and she's an older lady, and I do my best to be nice and kind to her, but she talks a lot. And today, she knocked on my door to tell me something about a repair or something that's going on, and she kept talking to me. I had my two younger kids. I had the youngest in my arm. She's crying, like she's like very unhappy, like not a soft cry, like she's showing her ass. The other one is trying to get out of the door because she likes to run outside. She's trying to get out of the door. She's crawling between legs. She's doing all these different things, and she's trying. Oh, poor guy. So I'm at the door, and I'm looking a total stay at home mom, and my kids are spazzing the fuck out, and she's trying to tell me something that is dumb as fuck. I'm not even gonna cap it. Like, it was just dumb as shit, and I'm just trying. I know sometimes. Okay, yeah. So I know sometimes, our older population, sometimes they be saying stuff that isn't really important sometimes. Um, and this was one of those moments, okay? Like bestowing on me some crone like wisdom. She was trying to tell me something that wasn't important. And again, my kids are screaming. So I'm really just like, oh, okay. And I'm really trying to not really have the conversation. I'm really just trying to be like, oh, okay, all right. Bye. But she keeps talking. And then she proceeds to ask me a question about, do I think it's okay that she did something regarding her grandkid or something? And it was an interaction that I didn't witness. So I was like, what are you talking about? And then she repeats it. And I'm just like, you still aren't giving me details about the situation. Mind you, my kids are screaming. Okay. And she's trying to tell me a story, and she's trying to retell me the story to help me get the point. She's trying to drive the point home, right? And I'm just like, but I'm standing here in front of you, clearly being bombarded with children. Mind you, we had just gotten some lunch. So I'm about to make plates, and that's probably why I know that's why the Taurus stellium child was screaming, because she damn sure wanted something to eat, right? Because that's what Tauruses do, is they eat. I'm sitting up here like, why are you talking to me? And this person has children. Like, this person, she's older, but she has children. I'm like, why are you trying to talk to me when you see that I'm trying? Not only am I trying to end the conversation, you see that I'm busy with my kids. And you're still trying to talk to me, right? Now, most people would be like, oh, older. No. Let me tell you, this is not an extreme, this is a mild example. But that's that good girl shit. Letting people talk over you. Letting people talk to you when busy. I remember, I know this has happened to other people. If you're empathic, this probably happens to you. This happened to me one time. Y'all, and I don't even think I was well. Like, I think I had postpartum depression at the time. I remember being at a park with my son and his dad. Both of my sons were probably with me at the time. And I was at the park. And this white lady just comes up to me and she starts talking to me. And she starts telling me, like, her whole life. And the shit she's telling me is fucking depressing. I didn't ask this lady shit. She just started talking to me. She just fucking started talking to me out of nowhere about fucking depressing ass shit. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh. And I'm nodding and I'm nodding. Y'all, that type is dangerous. Now, at this point, I was much more of a infant on my spiritual path. And I know I hadn't sealed my aura. I hadn't done my protection work. I didn't have any type of protection amulets on me. I hadn't done this, that, and the third. I do all the shit that I'm not going to tell you, that I only tell my students. And some shit that I don't tell anybody. So I hadn't done any of my protection work because that wasn't something that I did. So this is why, like, a lot of empaths end up being, like, drained and shit. And, the people that are like, why does everyone walk over me? This is why. You entertain shit that you don't give a fuck about. I get it. People have told you you're supposed to be nice. People have told you you're supposed to let people talk. People have told you that you are supposed to go out of your way for other people, and you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. Stop doing shit you don't want to do. Okay? So when this lady was talking to me, and I'm talking about back day, and when I was, like, still fresh, I'll say 3-4 years in the spiritual game, and this lady was just draining the fuck out of me. That's a bad example, right? So today, when this situation presented itself again in a different way, and I was made even more clear that this lady was disrespecting me because she saw my kids screaming. Like, when I was at the park, my kids were, like, running around playing, having a good time, and I was just keeping an eye on them. In this instance, not only is this lady at my fucking front door, she sees my kids fucking spazzing out, and she's still trying to have a conversation with me and asking me questions about if she did the right or wrong thing with her granddaughter. Lady, like, again, I do my best not to disrespect my elders just because it's something that is ingrained in me. But let me tell you what the fuck we not gonna do the rest of 2024. Let me tell you what the fuck we not finna do. This is an example of not being a quote-unquote good girl. Because this is, honestly, it was really hard for me to do this because I'm not used to doing this shit. I'm used to letting people to me about dumbass shit that I don't give a fuck about. And then after I'm done talking to them, I'm cursing myself out because I have been psychically drained. Not today. Today, I literally, like, I looked at my daughter screaming at me, and I looked back at her, and I just was like, okay, all right, thank you. And I closed the door in her face. Now, I know that's not extreme, right? I know that's not extreme. It's not oh my gosh, she's such a badass. When you are a pushover, when you are a people pleaser, that is when you have let people psychically drain you, because you're the friend that everyone calls, or because, that at the airport, people can just walk up to you and tell you their life story, and then by the time you get on the plane, you're kind of depressed and you don't know why, or, yeah, People, the energy dump, do not let people do that to you. Like, straight up, like, I'm gonna give y'all an example. Because basically what you're doing is when you're being a quote unquote good girl, and you're not doing this because you really want to do something somebody, or you're not really wanting to be, when you're doing yourself, so back up, self-betraying when you are partaking in activities you don't want to partake in. You are self-betraying. Yes, and that's good. People should think you're rude. That's one of the things too. When you're being a good girl, because matter of fact, I am so notorious for saying this when I'm telling people stories about shit that people did that pissed me the fuck off, that I didn't say anything about it because I was like, you know, I would always be like, well, I didn't want to be mean. I would literally always say that shit. Well, I didn't want to be mean. Fuck that shit. Everybody else is fucking mean. Okay? There's literally a stereotype about white women. They call them Karens. Everybody know what a Karen is. Everybody knows what a Karen does. Do you think them bitches give a... They don't give a fuck. Have you ever met somebody that just doesn't give a fuck? Like, they really just like, stop talking to me. I'm busy right now. Like, honestly, it's not even being rude. It's having boundaries. And a lot of women are taught to have boundaries. You are taught to kiss people's ass. You are taught to, you know, don't talk too loud. Don't do that. Like, literally, I had a come to Jesus moment. Like, oh my God. Probably last year, where I got angry because I was like, I'm always the one being the bigger person, always. Because I'm never like, not never. Typically, I'm not the aggressor. I'm not really I'm not an aggressor. That's not really it's not really my thing. That is some shit for your ass. But I'm not a shit starter. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to feed my kids, and they're screaming, and you see that they're uncomfortable and I'm uncomfortable, and you're still asking me questions about your personal life. No. You have to tell people no. You have to put people on red. You have to find other shit to care about. Like, seriously. Like, fuck other people's feelings. Like, only be concerned with your feelings. Like, you have to be selfish. And this is another thing. Like, this is what y'all gotta understand. These words that people tell you are bad, feelings, or these actions that people tell you are bad, they're only bad for you. Have you know that? And that's what really had me, or I would say one of the things that started my fuel and started to make me really angry. And the anger woke me up because I was just like, I'm tired of motherfuckers always telling me to pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, pipe down, right? But this person did this. This motherfucker done did this. You know, I done had to go get a temporary restraining order on this crazy ass bitch that I don't even fucking like because she's threatening my life. And I'm always the one being the bigger person. Always. Now, had I slapped the shit out of one of these motherfuckers, had I cut some of these people out, had I told some of these people, look, you're not going to talk to me that way, or, hey, I'm not going to have that conversation with you right now, things might have turned out different. I'm not saying it would have been better, but I know that people have known, oh, she stands on business. Like, I can't talk to her crazy. I can't call this pregnant lady and tell her I'm going to slap the fuck out of her because she going to beat my ass. Because she that savage. Like, why? Like, why? Be nice for what? Like, it's very exhausting being the bigger person. Because one of the things you do when you are not speaking your mind and you're letting people tell you, like, I cannot believe that lady talked over me at my motherfucking front door. Like, honestly, the nerve of her. Like, she's honestly really lucky I didn't cuss her the fuck out. And I know she didn't mean no harm by it, but people need to, like, and because this journey is a reigniting of some of my childhood confidence and fire. She is very lucky because I didn't used to be toned down. Like, I got toned down by being conditioned, toned down from abuse. like people who know me before, like I'll say maybe my second emotionally, because I had never experienced domestic violence until I actually got into my 30s. So experienced psychological and emotional abuse, but it had me fucked up now. It had me fucked up. It had me very fucked up. And I cowered. I just was so like chill and like appeasing. But every time I held my tongue, like as soon as the conversation was over, I started cussing. Like I had shit I wanted to say. I did. Now I'm not saying that you should always say shit when you feel. I'm not saying that there's a right and there's a wrong time. But again, if you are a people pleaser, I know you go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I already know. If you're a people pleaser, you tuck and hold a lot of shit in. You hold a lot of shit in. And if you don't believe me, look at your stomach. If you have a gut, you holding shit in. I know. I already know. I had digestive issues for years because I used to hold shit in. Because I remember one of the times that I did cuss somebody out because they were being so crazy to me, and I just was like, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing because this person's older than me. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. When I finally did cuss the person out, she literally attacked me. Like she jumped on me, physically jumped on me. Now I didn't hit her. I didn't run towards her. I didn't raise my hand. She jumped on me. That's how mad it made her when I spoke up. Like when you're a people pleaser, you when you're a people pleaser, you do not understand how much your silence diminishes you. Don't feel shame because mine came back because I have another reload. I have some more shit I need to let go of. So I'm not even ashamed. I already know. Because I do metaphysical health all day long. So whenever it happens, I just be like, I got some shit I need to release. And some people that need to be cussed out. Some people that's probably going to have to get that heat. I already know. Like I literally have some people, I'm not even going to tell all of it. But I have some people who are in very prominent that I have to report. And it's not going to be nice. Like there are going to be going to be people that are going to probably lose their livelihoods and everything they've worked for because they fucking played with me. But again, even still, me filing the report is enough for myself. So people pleasers, one of the issues with people pleaser is that you've been conditioned to not stick up for yourself. You have been trained and conditioned that if you stick up for yourself, there is a punishment. That has probably happened to you before. That's happened to me more than once. But I had to just get to a place spiritually. Again, I'm really big on spiritual protection. I'm very, very, very big on it. I had to get to a place where I was spiritually protected enough, cloaked and covered enough to where it's just like, bitch, I'm just gonna do that work. Like I really don't get, like at this point, I really don't give a fuck. Anybody can get cussed out. Anybody can get a piece of my mind. Now again, do I have control? Yes. Like I didn't cuss out this lady today. This is somebody's grandmother. This is somebody's mother. I didn't cuss this lady. But I stopped the conversation. Like, why is that so important for me? I remember I had this boy call me when I first started my business. He was crying because he was having a spiritual attack, and I wasn't even equipped enough at the time to deal with it. But I remember anxiety that it gave me because he was having a damn anxiety attack. Again, I wasn't spiritually like I should have been. So him like crying on the phone about whatever fuck was going on with him, it fucked with me. Like, and I was feeling all sad and down. Look, one of the gifts that I have as a human design projector, as a lot of water in my chart, it's the gift of guidance. So I'm not a licensed therapist. I am not a counselor. I am not a social worker, but I do have the gift of talking to some. I don't even have to talk to somebody. I can see somebody and I can typically tell what's wrong with them. But once they start telling me the story, I can definitely tell what's wrong with them. When I was younger and I was in the church, I would just start telling people stuff. I have the gift of prophecy. So being able to tap in and to feel other people's emotions and stuff like that When I give spiritual advice, okay, the spiritual advice that I give people is worth money. It's very much worth money. Like, people pay me to help them with their problems. Now, are there people that I've helped with their problems and they didn't pay me? Yes, at the beginning of my business. And if they're close to me and, I'm able to help them, yeah. But those gifts are worth money, right? And it took me a long time to figure out how to monetize my gifts, how to even speak about what my gifts were, because I didn't even know what they were, because I was told tangible things. That's another video. But that is something that is like, that is, well, one is energy when you're giving someone advice. That's for anybody. But that is an anointing that you have, to an anointing of wisdom, an anointing of prophecy, an anointing of, and you're able to listen to a person's story, and you're able to download or hear from their ancestors through mediumship, and you're able to, or whatever, or whether it's mediumship or my intuition, and I'm able to help them to the planned or the wished for destination, as with any other professional that you hire for something, right? I'm giving away my gifts for free. So when a motherfucker walk up to me and says, well, what do you think about this? I can't answer you. Not with the reason I got. Not with me not no long with me longer being worried about being a good girl, with me worried about being nice to people, with me worried about people liking me. Like, once you step out of that shit, people can absolutely kick rocks. Like, you don't have, like, you're like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to put up this facade, or put up this mask. That's really a character. Like, if you are genuinely like a nice person and that's really your character, super like just gumball sweet, then that's you. That's cool. I'm a very kind person. I'm a very compassionate person, but I also am a very fiery person. I'm a very spunky person. I'm a very I have a lot of liveliness and vibrance to me. And my mind moves very fast. It moves very, very fast. I actually don't even like listening to people talk, because most people talk very slow to me. And I know that they talk slow to me because my mind moves really fast. I know that. Like, this is something that I've most of my life. Like, I literally hated school. I made straight A's, but I hated school because everything about it was just so like, I was like, oh my God, everything. It was like watching cry. But I know what I'm able to do. I know the energy that people glean from me, not only when I give them attention, and that's, I guess, another tip in this video. Stop giving motherfuckers attention. Like, that's where a lot of the energy, like, good girl programming is to have you worrying about shit that don't matter. You're worried about what you're gonna wear. You're worried about what your cousin gonna say when you see her. You're worried about this. You're worried about what your husband gonna do. Like, stop. Please. Stop doing that shit, okay? Please. Stop. Stop giving a fuck about what people are going to say about how you feel. When I stopped giving a fuck, it was like a rebirth. Girl, I feel that. I'm the same way. Girl, no, they didn't. That is so crazy. It's so ironic to me how how church does that. Evangelists come, the pastor will start prophesying. They'll have an actual prophet or prophetess come in. But when you are a prophet or prophetess, it's like, because you didn't go through their little training program in the back or whatever, that you're not legit. I don't have time for that shit. I'm glad I didn't take any ministerial classes like that. Like, I started preaching when I was 16. I didn't have to take any classes. Now, when I was preaching, I wasn't doing any prophetic work. I was just teaching from the Bible and sermons and stuff. But that's wild. That's really wild that they do that. I don't know why they're like that. Because then it's people like, what's his name? Keon, Master, whomever, that get up and talk. And they say the craziest, most outlandish, most inaccurate shit. And nobody bats an eye. Which is crazy to me. But anyways, yes, the good girl programming. So the good girl programming is all about you like shrinking. It's all about you not being too loud. It's all about you not confronting. If I told y'all the number of times people have told me not to fucking confront people, like that pisses me off when I think about it. Because I'd be like, why? Why should I have confronted this person? And then, this is the gag. This is how you test your environment. Test your environment. When you are having a problem, is everybody around you telling you to calm down? Is everybody telling you, no, don't file that report. No, don't call the police. No, don't do this. Like, is that what everybody else around you was telling you? If so, and you have a mind of your own and compulsion to do what it is that you actually wanted to do, and you go do that thing, what are the outcomes? Because everybody at my job told me not to. There's one white man that kept fucking with me. Everybody at my job not to report this motherfucker. And I felt compelled to do it. I got my ancestors an offering, and I took my happy tappy ass to fucking HR. And I told what was going on. And everybody told me I was overreacting. This overreacting shit with women is crazy to me, because we're like, women are naturally intuitive. So like it's the gaslighting for me. Like, women are gaslit so fucking much out of their rage, out of their joy, out of their happiness, out of all type of shit. Like, stop listening to people for real. Listen to your goddamn self. Start working on building your intuitive. If you're not good, like if your intuition is shaky, like start building up the muscle of your intuition. What? That's so crazy. They ain't hard. I would have returned and sent it on all their asses. Straight up. I don't like when people get the gossiping about me. Like, if I find out you've been talking shit about me, well, just good luck. Because you're gonna get that same energy back. What was I talking about? I was talking about it's coming. Oh yeah, the good girl programming. Test it. Like, test it. If you've always been a person that people were like, calm down, don't do anything, and you sit back and be like, damn, I should have done that. I should have moved to Kentucky when I had that chance. I should have filed that police report the first time that my husband did this. I should have done this. If you have those type of experiences in your life, one of these fucking times, yeah, it's like they be trying to put a wall up between you and getting results with whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's so crazy how it's interesting how it be church folks be the main ones. When you feel like you need to do some shit and see what happens. I had a family member call me. I'm telling you, I was pregnant with my second child. I had to hang up on her ass. I had to hang up on that ass because she talked to me about how dangerous it was for me to be having a baby at a birth center. I don't want to hear that shit. This is not your coochie. I don't know that shit. Why are you calling me, telling me, girl, shut up? I went to school for this. Okay, I didn't tell her that, but I wanted to. I wanted to be like, girl, shut up. Like, I went for this. You went to school for some non-medical shit. Do that over there. Like, your first child came out as a C. You had one child and he was a C-section. You don't even know what the fuck I got going on over here. You don't even know what I'm doing over here. Like, you don't even know what I'm doing over here. Like, no shade. But, like, you know what I'm saying? You only had one kid, you know. you had an emergency C-section, like, you don't even know what I'm doing over here. You don't even know what I got going on. So she called me, and you know what, this is another thing too, and I think this is part of where it comes from for me, and this may, you know, apply to some of you out there, is I had specific people in my life, in my family, ironically, because I just did a video on family, that it was like every time I tried to do something, they were always trying to feed me some fear about it, right? And so again, if I was, see, clearly I wasn't all down in my good girl programming, because I still did shit I wanted to do, clearly. But it was like every time. This is one of the same people that was tripping about me going to another state. Like, she gave me hell about that shit. Hell. So fast forward some 6 years later, I'm having a baby. I'm choosing to get out of hospital, right? I'm choosing to go to a birth center. And this relative, she's just telling me, oh my God, this is so dangerous. Oh my God, why are you doing this? Why can't you just go to the hospital? That's the safest thing that you need to do. Do you know what you're doing to yourself? Okay. I mean, it's really not safe. Mind you, birth is a life situation. So I'm like, why are you even trying to give me bad energy around me giving birth? Okay, this is life. This is life or death. Like, the fuck alone. So, I, I'm only 5'3", y'all. Okay, I weigh about 140 right now. I normally weigh about 130, 125, 130. So I go to the birth center, and I have this over 9-pound baby with no vaginal tears, and it's a beautiful experience, and it's amazing, right? Beautiful little Gemini boy, which you find in my really old videos. I have videos that I did with as I was holding him. He's not that small anymore, though, of course. So I have the baby, and he's fine, and I'm fine, and everything is cool. And it's like, where is the energetic refund that I get for sitting around letting you spew all of this fear around my fucking childbirth? Where are your consequences for being wrong? See, I don't like when people do like fear mongering shit and then they be wrong. Because if you're naive, as you know, I was younger, as a lot of people are when they're young, you, like, when people are trying to admonish you, you're gonna do one or two things. You're gonna be like, girl, whatever, ain't nothing really gonna happen. I can go do whatever the fuck I wanna do. I'm gonna go to that club anyway. Or you're gonna be like, dang, I'm not gonna go to that because my best friend's older sister told me that that place is dangerous, right? And I get it. Like, there are some warnings that are for your protection. They're for your good. But there's also mindful of certain people that it's always too scary. You know, don't go out the country. Child, I had on a cruise. I had folks calling me, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" Nigga, I'm just going on vacation. You see what I'm saying? They try to stop you from in life. I talked a little bit about this in my last video too. Like, these are the people that don't want you to leave when you're trying to go college. They will do anything and everything to tell you, girl, they be girls at that college. Like, they'll do anything to keep you like stagnant and stuck. But the flip side of it is when you do step into your dark feminine power and you decide you're not going to be anymore, people are going to be mad at you. People are going to be irritated with you. I have been called everything. Some of it's true, and I don't give a fuck. But grown ass people who have lives and bills. They have resorted to name calling, which I think is crazy because we're grown. But they've resorted to name calling because that's all. It's like they're that mad. Like, I made a post today about the Salem witch trials. Like, they was burning these ladies not because they was casting spells on people, and they might have been. But they were burned. When you look at the history of why they were burning these women, it was burning them because they owned land. They was burning them because they were not married. They were burning them because they had all this livestock and they was living wealthily. And women were supposed to be doing that in that time, which is crazy to think about. But that's history for your ass. So you have to understand, at some way you will be burned at the stake if you choose to not comply with societal standards. People are gonna know, why don't you have a baby? Why don't you have a man? Why are you always traveling? You always at work. You gonna go get another degree? You got another boyfriend? Why you going to get a facelift? Like it's gonna always be a problem for other people. And you have to, the difference between the bad girl and the good girl is and when I say bad, that's in quotation marks, okay? And I say good, that's in quotation marks. Because there ain't shit good about tucking your feelings. There ain't shit good about not speaking up for yourself. There ain't shit good at that at all. And there's nothing bad for advocating for yourself. There's nothing bad for leaving Christianity. There's nothing bad for shaving your fucking head off if you do. There's nothing bad for, you know, maybe a little unsafe. If you decide you want to get, liposuction, that's your fucking business. Like, that's your life. It's how you want to fucking live it. You cannot live your life like that's the difference. The girl, quote unquote, she lives her life for other people. She lives her life for approval. The bad girl, quote unquote, the bad bitch, quote unquote, she does not fucking care. She doesn't care if her ass is hanging out. She doesn't care if she has on a sweatshirt and, don't even want to be bothered today. It's not for the male gaze. It's not for, I want to make my mama be nicer to me. It's not for, and that's different than I want to make my ancestors proud. I'm talking about people who do in a performative way for their parents. The people who go to college for shit they don't even fucking like for their parents. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the bad girl is going to say, hey, I'm going to move to Paris and I'm going to become an artist and I'm not going to college. Because that's what she wants to do. In my instance, right, my bad girl moment, went to college against my parents' suggestions of where I should go and what I should study and what I should do. I said, I just did what I wanted to do. Okay? And I had to deal with people talking shit. You don't get no job, right? You ain't gonna get no job because you're women's studies. You know that, right? You know this finna be hard, right? And you paying all that money to go to that damn school when you gonna major in women. Why can't you major in engineering? Like, you're going, that's part of why the bad girl will often be further ostracized and even isolated, because when you get to a certain level and you have boundaries, you are not going to let people plant seeds of doubt in your life. You're going to only want to surround yourself with people that love you and care for you. And sometimes, a lot of times, those are not the people that you grew up around. And they may not be able to adjust with you being that much of yourself. But, for me, and this is speaking for myself, I don't give a, I'll say this, the evolution for me was me trying to be digestible for people. I literally tried to be digestible for people. I really did. I tried to be digestible. Now I am absolutely positively focused on making sure that people choke on my energy. Like, you're gonna get energy. I don't give a fuck about how you like it, how you not like. There's so much shit about me in my life that I was admonished for or scolded or told not to do that I just did anyway, and it benefited me. Even down to the ring in my nose. Like, I had people telling me not to do that because I would never job and I would never be able to do this and I would never. It's always this never. What is never? Like, what is it? This is an abundant universe. What is never? So I knew some of those were limiting beliefs and I didn't listen to them, right? But some of the other stuff I did. Because I was scared and I felt like I had to do this, because if I don't do this, then I'll never be able to do this, because this is what my dad or mom or my cousin or my grandmother told me. You have to start setting new rules. Like, bad girls have rules for themselves. Good girls follow everybody else's rules. So you have to pick. You're going to have to pick struggle. Either you're going to be kissing ass or you're going to be standing up, living your best life. So either you're going to be doormat or you're going to be baddie. And I use baddie because it's a modern word. It's not necessarily you know, I guess a politically correct term. But you have vision about what you're gonna do. Wendy Williams didn't give a fuck about nobody liking her, and you'll see that with a lot of people who are famous and who have a lot of clout, whether they be authors, whether they be absolutely. And it took me a while to get there, but yeah, bad girls set their own rules. Whether they be authors, whether they be singers, they be politicians, whether they be, you know, the lady you see when you go to the gym, like people who are memorable are people who don't do what everyone else do. There is no honor. There is no cookie going to be given to you if you just follow like the leader. Like there are some examples that are maybe not so good. I'm trying to see if I can find a good one. I mean, Marilyn Monroe would be one. She did get a lot of her persona from Lana Turner, but she didn't give a fuck. She was fucking the president. Okay, that is some savage ass shit. That's some savage ass shit. I would be afraid his wife gonna put a root on me or something. That's some. I'm not saying it's good. That's savage. Okay, coming up off a sex tape, that's savage. Like that's some really savage ass shit. Oprah Winfrey getting on TV, having her own show, and not looking like a Barbie. That's some badass. That's a badass thing. Yes, because you're not supposed to think for yourself. You're not supposed to think for yourself. You're not supposed to be sexy. You're not supposed to be too smart. Like, it's all misogyny at the end of the day. So yeah, if you're not going to be a dumb blonde, if you're not going to be a quiet little church mouse, you are going to have problems. Yes, Oprah smart and had a money of her own, and Oprah left her whole fucking family in the motherfucking dust. South Note and Camp. She left all them niggas in Mississippi and said, fuck y'all. I think she also, didn't she drop out of college? Which is unconventional for somebody to go when they're going into journalism. Like, that's not the norm. Like, people don't understand. I've had so many situations where I've sat back and be like, "Ugh, but they took the easy route, and you know, they was kissing ass, and they was, you know, whatever. They didn't take the traditional route, and they still got there. That's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair. The game's rigged. So it's kind of like, there's a quote. What is the quote? It says something, is it fortune favor bold? I think that's the quote. Like, for real, you have to pave your own path. People thought Einstein was crazy. They thought this nigga was crazy, okay? Now he's is one of the greatest scientists and da-da-da. And does he have a degree from anywhere? Like, it's not a, and I'm not saying you should get your degree. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying you do not have to follow rules to get to where you need to go. You don't have to follow someone else's rules. That's for goddamn sure to get to where you need to go. Yes, you need grit. Yes, you need, you know, competence. Yes, you need discipline. These things are important. But motherfuckers will tell you get something because your skirt. I have been told that I was not going to be able to do certain things because of the skirt that I wore that day or some crazy shit. And of course, I still did it with the skirt that I had on that day because it's really cute. But yeah, no, people want you. People want you. And I mean, no shade to the Amish, but they want you like walking around like an Amish woman, like you're quiet, you're in the kitchen, you popping out babies, and who cares what you think? So to dare to be different and to dare to be outspoken and to dare to not conform, you are going to experience opposition and you're going to have to be able to deal with it, to deal with the criticisms of regular ass people who could never walk a mile in your shoes ever. Yeah. You know what? It's the example. So she's saying that she has natural hair and she has a male friend that tells her that she needs to do her hair. Um this is my recommendation. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Because I can't tell you what to do. One of the things when people say dumb shit to me, because again, I used to just not say nothing to people. When I tell you niggas are about to tuck and roll dealing with new Jay because I went through another Scorpio initiation, like I'm on some other shit right now, and they've been so quiet and kind. When people say things that are out of pocket to me, I address that shit immediately. I address it immediately. I don't care how small it is. Like motherfuckers need to know you're not playing with them. I would tell him, look, because actually I had this problem when I went natural. I went natural in high school, and my stepdad was like, "What is going on with your head? Like I thought this was like a couple of days. I thought you had a wig on. What's going on with your hair?" And I had to tell him I had did my big chop, and this is what it was. But I would tell them directly, look, this is my hair, and this is how I like it, and I don't need any. Don't make any more comments to me about what the fuck I need to do to my hair. Like, period. Worry about your shit. And that would just be the end. That would be the kindest thing I could give him. Because why is your ass commenting on what the fuck I'm doing with my motherfucking head? No. Like, I'm telling you, I have always like, because my mom is a forgiver and my mom is a ignorer. And those things are fine for her. Well, one, I'm not a forgiver. I ain't never been a forgiver. I ain't never been a forgiving ass bitch ever. Not always. Like, I freaking give thanks. If y'all do not follow her already, I give thanks. Got the number 2, the letter B, June. Find her on YouTube because she was the first person that validated my feelings about forgiveness. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not alone. Because I'm not forgiving a nigga for nothing. A cat, a dog, a butterfly. And I'm not, like, no, if you did it, you did it. Fuck you. I'm not fucking forgiving you for shit. His ass the fuck up. Because how dare he make a comment about a black woman here any fucking way. See, I knew it was something behind that. Because I was just like, why is he even saying it? Eat his ass up. Eat his ass the fuck up. These people, honestly, like, again, my mom is my mom, like, I would tell my mom shit, like, Mom, what happened at school? Or, oh, my mom was always just like, you know, just ignore them, just ignore them. Honestly, that's cool. Like, I do ignore people because I understand, you know, when you give people attention, it does give them energy. Probably me being a projector, people can eat off my energy, like me, them attention, my awareness. But sometimes you gotta slide a bitch across the room. Like, sometimes you gotta knock the shit out of a bitch. Like, sometimes you gotta cuss a motherfucker out. Sometimes you do have to say something back. Like, you know, and me and my mom are two totally different people. Like, she not with that. She not with the shits. Like, she take after her mama. I take after I take after my grandmother's mom, my great grandma. Okay, she's literally like Medea. Like, for real. That's how she was. And she did not fuck around. Okay. And like, if she was alive, like, there are like probably 4 people that wouldn't even be breathing right now, and she would have gladly taken a mugshot. Gladly. My mother, unfortunately, is just not like that. She's just not. Like, she will defend herself to a degree, but like, honestly, if somebody punched my mama in the face, I don't think she know what to do. Like, she's very like, she can't be passive aggressive, but she's like, my mom is, she laughs away tension and shit. Like, and I'm a Scorpio, I can't deal with that. If I feel like there's tension, I'm going to address it. If I feel like you got an issue, I'm going to address it. Like, I can be confrontational. I don't like to be, but I can't deal with, does this person like me? If they say something about me, I can't deal with like gray area shit. I can't deal with that shit. Like, I'd rather fight you. I'd rather fight you. I'd rather have a conversation. really, I would have a conversation. But if I already know you on bullshit, then I'd just rather slap the shit out of you, honestly. But I don't be doing shit like that to people because I've been sparing niggas for 35 years now. But I'm not doing it no more. And it should be with me. I will not catch a charge. Like, I'm here, Glorilla. Like, I'm on my Glorilla shit. Like, I'm slapping bitches and no. There won't be no bail. Because I wish a bitch would. Because if I slapped you, you shouldn't be able to get back up. But that's me. Um, yeah. So yeah, the silence. I personally think, like, for me, I know people be like, oh, women should be poised. I'm extremely poised. Like, I've done the debutantes. I was a freaking beauty. I was in a beauty pageant 2 years ago. That don't have shit to do with shit. Like, people always, again, people love to try. And I did a video on this, I think, about, this was like last year, earlier this year, where I was talking about how people like try to make women suppress their anger. Mind you, suppressing your anger will make you fucking sick. Okay, it will make you very sick. Suppressing your anger will make you very sick. That's part of why I don't. And so as I have started to tap back in with my anger and tap back in with my inner child and unchain myself from being polite to motherfuckers just because I exist, because I don't have to fucking do that. I have become more acquainted with my anger. And again, I come from a mother who does not have a healthy relationship with her anger. So she thinks I'm like, that's been one of my issues with her, is she always try to make it seem like I'm too much. I'm over the top. You better not call that lady and cuss her out. Leger, don't do that. She's that type of energy. And I'm not like that. Again, I've told her this like 100 times. This is your fault for leaving me with your grandmother. If you wanted me to be calmer, if you wanted me to be a turn the other cheek ass bitch, you maybe should have left me with my grandmother more and not my great grandmother, because my grandmother is an absolute saint and she's the sweetest woman in the absolute world. People have also walked over my grandmother, even though she's literally the best cook. She's so sweet. People have walked over her. People have walked over her and have treated her very, very crazy in this life. And yeah. And so I got to see it firsthand. What happens when you are kind and sweet all the time. But again, that's not my true nature. And although my dad has become sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost, I have also heard stories from some of my paternal family that my dad was with the shits as well. So that may be where some of it came from. Actually, I don't really know anybody from New Orleans that's not with the shit. I don't think I do. But anyways, you have to be cool with making people uncomfortable. And I absolutely feel like when a motherfucker up to you wrong, I feel like you should say something. Even the smallest of shade. You should do your hair. Like, bitch. Like, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But I be having ignorance. That's me. But I definitely would say something to him about that, because that's fucking crazy. I feel like, again, disrespect should be dealt with the first time. It's a learning process. Like, I'm not, because I know I've let a lot of shit slide. I've let a lot of shit slide. Like, child, when I tell you I should have, baby, I should have made World Star a few times. But I was trying to be good. I really was. I was trying to be good. But and I spared some lives. I really truly did. But I feel like that's why people feel like they can play in your face. I feel like that's why people have to play in my face, because they don't have any missing teeth. They don't have any missing teeth. A couple did get papers filed on them. I did take that route, which I personally, I don't even like dealing with the court system. I feel like it's a weak way to handle a situation, in my personal opinion. But You know, I've tried to be. Being a person. Just it's not for me. It's not for me at all. It's never made me feel good. I have never felt like, yeah, yeah, that was fulfilling. Yeah, I really got them. I didn't say anything back. No. Now, there are times when I do ignore people and I know it is a strategic move to piss them the fuck off. But as far as just blatant disrespect, like, please, please, no. Like, please, no. I just, it's really unfathomable for me, honestly. It really is. It's, as I said, it's uncomfortable. I be feeling like I'm gonna spontaneously come when I do not address shit straight up. And I think that's what made me stop doing it, because I'm just like, this does not feel good. This does not feel good. This does not feel good. What felt good was closing my door in that lady face today. That felt great. Because, bitch, these kids gotta eat. I don't have time for that shit right now. No, I don't owe you. I don't owe you a conversation. Like, the good girl programming be having women having conversations with people that don't even deserve to be breathing in the same air as them. Like, for real. There are people that you should walk the fuck off on. Absolutely. But disrespect, that should be handled directly. That should be handled directly. Like, again, I used to have a lot more a lot more gall. Like, and it's coming back. But I do remember in high school, I pulled up on two teachers. Pull up. When I say pull, I walked up there to their desk and I'm like, I need to have a meeting with you right now, because this paperwork, these grades, they're not. This is not what it needs. The other person that I walked up to, she kept singling me out in class, and I walked up to her and I addressed her, and she got so fucking mad. She could not believe my teenage black ass was at her desk telling her, you know, you keep singling me out. Do you have a problem with me? Like, she was so stunned. But I live for that shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I live for motherfucker stutter, making a person not be able to respond to me. I love it. I love it. I love it. I did it to one of my children's fathers at a soccer game one time. Nigga could not. He was almost frozen. Because it's like, yeah. What'd you say again? Yeah, that's what the fuck I thought. People need to be afraid of you. Like, literally, people used to tell me that I'm intimidating, and I used to feel so bad about it. Now I literally revel in it. Like, be the scary person. Be the spooky bitch. Be the bitch, period. Be the bitch. Be the person that, shit, I know if I say something to her ass, she, she don't fuck around. Like, should be the energy when people think about you. Oh yeah, she don't play. I ain't even finna. Yeah, that's the type of energy that you want people to have. Not, girl, fuck her. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I ain't gonna do shit. Which energy would you prefer it to be when people are talking about you, when they're referring to you, when they're discussing you? I want motherfuckers afraid to play with me. I want motherfuckers afraid to play with me. Whether they're afraid I'm gonna put a room or they're afraid I'm gonna show up. You know, be afraid, bitch. Be very afraid. That is what I am on my fear invocation. I'm invoking fear in everybody who needs it. Nicole, she really would stay there. Yes, it is childlike. Maybe, you know, like I said, maybe do some inner child work to ask that to come forth. Call that energy forth. Call forth your fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I love to get together. I love to get people together because I don't start anything. So when I'm getting someone together, bitch, you started it. You wanted it. You wanted smoke. So here I am. I agree, Nicole. Yeah. Yeah, that's not really cute. I would be wary of that. Hanili, I would ask you. I would ask you about that. Because she's so good at decoding patriarchal behavior. I know some shit, but I don't know everything. Because to me, in my opinion, a guy that likes me, of course, there's playful banter, but a guy who likes me, I would not want him making the type of comments to me. I would like Nicole said, it kind of would make me feel like the whole weight conversation. So it's like, if you like me, why would you tell me I need to go get my hair done? You know what I mean? It's giving, what is the word? Is it negging? Is the right word? Nicole is a mental health professional, so I'm asking her. That negging, when they make like back comments. Okay, yeah. That, like I said, it was giving me negging energy. So trust your gut on that, because I don't like niggas like that. Like, I've dealt with my oldest child's father is an extreme narcissist, and me being so young and me not having experience with dating, I did not know what I was dealing with when I started dating him. But that was a really, really big thing with him. Super big thing with him was he was gonna always make some, even if he told me I looked nice, he was gonna say something negative, and he was very jealous of me that I went to a HBCU, and he was in grad school, but he was jealous that I went to a HBCU, and he would tell me he didn't like me wearing Spelman shirts, and it was weird shit. So when a nigga do weird that to me, it gives me catty high school girl energy. Like, what's that on your shirt? Like, what are you wearing? That's the energy it gives me when a man does that to a woman. And I just immediately refer back to trauma that I experienced with my oldest child's father, and how he literally would nitpick everything about my clothes, everything I wore, and everything. And I just was like, it's a lot of zest going on with that situation. So I'm just gonna give that to the ancestors. I already gave that to the ancestors. So that's a sick individual. But yeah. But yeah, that's the whole, like, yeah. Be mindful of that shit, because honestly, that's a great way to practice though. Snatch a motherfucker from the root from the first time. Like, the first time you say some crazy shit to me, excuse me, what did you say? You said what? Okay. What the fuck? Like, you got to get people together the first time. Like, make people scared. My whole thing, make people afraid of you. That's always my go-to. Yeah, I don't like that. Don't criticize me. Nigga, if you want me to get my hair done, where the cash at? Because what is that? That's the only thing he should be doing regarding your hair is sending me to get your hair done. Who is he? And you know what else? With men like that, I'm going to close out with this. With men like that, I often find those things so critical of actual beautiful, like, gorgeous women. The people that they date after, or the people that you'll find them, because I've had men do this to me and I didn't date them for real. Like, we hung out one time, they was acting sassy, and I just didn't date them anymore. This actually happened last year, child. Oh my God. I'll tell y'all one day about the sassy date stories. And we went out. I mean, we met up one time, and I was just so turned off by his attitude. I just was good on it, so I just ignored him. Like, after that date, I just didn't even talk to him anymore. We were friends on Facebook. This fucking dude starts going on my profile making like rude comments. So I made a post of me walking through the airport, and he was just like, "Oh, you look tired," because bags under my eyes. Like, I didn't have on any concealer, and I'm just like, sassy, zesty. I don't. Yeah, trying to take the energy. Yeah, because they'll take it any way they can get it. If they can't get it via sex, they'll get it via. I'm gonna make a backhanded comment to her, and she's gonna get upset about it, and she's gonna ruminate over it, and they can. It's basically bullying. They never be cute. You got to think about it. Like, do you really want your workhorse to be cute? You don't care about if it's cute. You care about if your food get made. You care about, is your house clean? You care about, is this woman going to work herself to death to take care of me and make sure that I'm appeased? They don't be caring about, it used to confuse me too. I used to be like, damn, why are these men, like these men used to talk about, oh, I'm going to have me an IG baddie. Oh, you know, I've had men tell me that I'm too dark, and they'll go find somebody that's, you know, 10 times darker than me and don't even look like they bathe. And I'd be confused. I'm like, okay, maybe you like dark skinned women now. Maybe something happened, but you couldn't find nobody better than that. I'm gonna let you and your ancestors deal with that. Cause I don't understand why your wife look like, but that's not my gene pool, so I'm gonna stay over here. Nicole, thank you. I love that about you too. Are you really that much older than me though? I don't think you are. Or are you younger than me? But I've been like this my whole life, child. Like, seriously. Like, I was 3 and 4 year olds telling people, like, your boyfriend is, I don't like your boyfriend. I don't know. I was just, I'm a 12th houser. I've been here so many times before. That's one thing I can say. And then my mom my babysitter was my great grandma for a long time. That's when my mom went to work. And my great grandmother was everything Medea she could be. Yes, a workhorse, because it's a mule. It's a mule. That is the term. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And yeah, you know, I think people that have, you know, private gifts and wisdom, like we are, you know, we're born with these gifts, and we, you know, even though I hate the word help, we're here to help and guide people, because we've already done this, which is for me to, but actually, no, it's not. I be having so much deja vu. I believe that I've been here a few times. Oh, thank y'all. Y'all so sweet. All right, y'all. So, yes, that's what I had to say about good girl stuff. Like, it's honestly, it's a process. It's a process, because when you have been programmed to be a good girl, fully, like, there's so many layers to this shit. Like, because these behaviors are like ingrained in you now, like you don't even realize. Like, today I realized, like, I had like a light bulb went off. You are letting this woman talk to you, knowing, and she's seeing that you have children, and you know you have to feed, like, you're letting this woman dictate your schedule. That's a really big issue that I've had as someone who has been a teacher, is I would be like, I would let people dictate my schedule. Like, I had something really, 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 really important to do. And my friend was driving me, and she insisted we stop at McDonald's, and I told her we didn't have time. And instead of me like screaming at her like I wanted to, I just, okay, like, I'm not driving. And like, she made me late for something so seriously important. Like, it was very upsetting for me. I didn't speak up, you know, and I had to be like, okay, like, I really got better. I really have to open my throat chakra and start saying what I need to say, because what I had to realize is, like, no matter what I say, like, who's gonna beat me up? You know, really, I could say whatever the fuck I want to say. Like, I didn't, like, I'm so used to policing what I say that honestly, there is a little tinge of fear that I do have, that I probably am gonna say something to make somebody like have a nervous breakdown or commit suicide or something. But I just have to, I have to not care about that. That's the worst case scenario. And if it happens, they probably deserved it. Like, honestly, like, I just, when I tell you my fucks have gone, like, but it's literally a process. It's an onion peeling process of deprogramming, because you have to catch. So one of the things you can do, because I know a lot about mind science, because I work on myself a lot, is you have to tell your mind, like, I now release all limiting, little girl, people pleasing behaviors that are keeping me from operate my highest truth and my highest power. I don't know, however you want to reword that, and how whatever it makes sounds good to you. And you might have to keep it, but the first time you say it, like the first time you say an affirmation, you do make an imprint on your brain. I do advise to keep saying, you have to peel those layers back. And when you make that affirmation, it like, I don't know, it's very, I do know how it works, but I don't know how it works. It's you will, that intention will come to fruition. It's like you have to be like, no, I am only going to think happy thoughts today. That sounds crazy as fuck, but if you say that, you will notice more when you're having negative thoughts, and you'll catch them. Very creepy and it's very weird, but it does work. But your brain is a computer, so. Oh yeah, I remember you commenting on Amir's picture when he was a baby. he was so fat. He's like a little I don't even know what to call him. He's such a skinny little kid now. He's lanky. But boy, that boy was so juicy and fat. I loved it. He was my first 9-pounder. He was so fat. And he breastfed forever. So crazy. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about good girl energy and energy vampires and niggas who try it. But thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. I need to go to sleep. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I don't even know why I'm up this late. Yeah. Thank y'all for rocking with me. My website still is currently glammy.com. I have not changed it. Like, I don't know when I'm going to get it together and change my website, but I will eventually. But currently it's glammy.com. So I do have consultations on there. I'm back doing readings, finally. Card and astrology readings. But I'm also here for consultations, your health needs, all of that cool stuff. I will be doing some more very niche spiritual services very soon, and I will be talking about that. I'm trying to get my website up, but I'll get it together in perfect. It always works out in a perfect time. But for now, you can visit me on glamalchemy.com. I actually need to bottle up some lady nectars right now, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. Is get some net control in the mail for my lovely customers who have purchased. Oh, thank you. Have a good night. Thank y'all for rocking with me. And I don't know why y'all like the only people talking, because it's like it's been several people on here, but it's all good. All right, love y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.